I already said that. Oh. Okay. Well,
Rock and roll.
yep. All right. Who would like to do an opening prayer or thought? Do we have a volunteer? The Kiwi has it.
Cool. Thank you. I'd like to thank you all for coming here from the various corners of the world and showing that we can work together even with distance. I appreciate, and I want to give thanks to each and every one of us for this. And may the powers that be continue to teach us on this journey, teach us to be in community, coordination with each other, how to communicate effectively, and learning the lessons that we find with each other, because we learn from each other, and this meeting is part of that process. I welcome you all here, and I give thanks for all the inspiration that comes through us and the guidance we receive. Thank you.
Aho.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother, cousin. Okay, good. So, okay, so officially, the chair position, until we do otherwise, is now mine since I'm third down. Let's not go any further. So I will do that as best I can. I've already started. I want to spend most of this meeting, I think I said it clearly, I hope so, if not, but taking a look at what we have. What do we need to do to right the ship? What kind of direction do we want to go forward? And then see about shifting around or changing or leaving the positions, the 4 positions we need. There's some other little things in there we'll get to since we are doing them. But I think it's really important that before we start focusing too much on the symptoms, we look at the causes. We're down to 5 now. It's actually not a bad thing, but we sure don't want to go much further. I heard back, just to put a period on this one, I heard back from Don after I sent that letter, and he's fine. Don is more of a thinking person, so he was not comfortable when we started doing heartstorming, even though he's also a spiritual person. So again, I thank him. I got all the contact info we need for banks, for the LLC listing in Delaware, and for the 501c3 reporting, which I did have, so I had that correct. I would like to propose that and this actually came from him. We were going to do this before, but we didn't get to it. Now that I have a physical place here and I actually own it, that we use this as the place where they send mail, and we won't have to be shifting it around all the time. If that makes sense, somebody can put that up for a vote, and if not,
I'll second that
sense.
motion, or I can
Okay.
propose it if you wish.
Okay. Ayes? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. I will have them then change. Everything still goes to Delaware because that's where we're registered, but then I'll just be the agent they send it to. So whoever fills whatever rolls down the road, I can just make sure they get it or whatever. But for now, that'll keep a secure stream of information. Okay, so we thank you, Don. I gave him our blessings. I gave him all our thanks. And I meant it, heartfelt. He did some extraordinary work for that year, along with the others who were there to do that building block things. Okay, thanks for putting this agenda together, Shami. We worked on it and then narrowed it down. Okay, let's do a couple minutes, if we may, on waves of wisdom. General
And
Fund?
just a
Yeah,
talking step, please, just to confirm, so your address will be the registered agent address, but all of our tax stuff will still go to Delaware. Is that what you're referring to, as far
No.
as what's in Delaware?
no, in Delaware is the registered agent address. But then they
Okay.
need a person with the organization to send anything to or to ask for documents or what, and that will be this address. So
Okay.
this will be a physical address for Sodom, but the corporate entity will stay in Delaware. So we avoid not only the federal but the state taxes. And when we start bringing in millions of dollars, that'll make a difference.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. General Thunder, do you want to start by telling them what we saw at Camp Avalon?
Sure. So we did a field trip last week to Camp Avalon. We know Shami stayed there last year and gave high reviews. And so there's not a whole lot of places around here. And feeling into what could best suit our offering and the kind of community that we want to attract. So based on that, we went to investigate Camp Avalon, and as soon as we started driving up, like, wow, wow, wow. It was the energy there was lovely. I'm like, wow, who would have thought this was just outside of Sedona? It was lovely, and no one was really around. They were all running around getting ready for a retreat that was coming in. But we were told we can park and then walk around if we wanted to, and feeling the earth, breathing in the air, feeling the energy and the vibration. It's like, wow, we could do this here. We could do this here. It feels good. And our main concern was no Wi-Fi with wanting to live stream. So then no sooner than we wrap things up and go, okay, let's go. And you can just email or call the number that Shami gave us to Haas, who comes rolling up in a golf cart. Haas. So I went and sat in the car, and Gray Wolf was out there talking with him, and they had a beautiful connection. And Haas, and that was important, you know, to make that face-to-face connection. And because Gray Wolf happened to be in the right spot at the right time when he rolled up, it started this really nice connection and conversation. And Gray Wolf got to express what it is that our intention, what we want to do. And Haas seemed to be all on board, and kind of extended the olive branch and saying, well, whatever you need, let me know. And here's my number. And I told Gray Wolf, well, that's the same number that Shami gave us at another meeting. So anyways, so now it's just a matter of selecting the dates. And we came to find out through Haas that they have their own towers. They have two. So live streaming won't be a problem. The space we were looking at has the stage right there. And there's multiple fire pits and surrounded by trees, and everything that we need is right there contained. So really nice. I give it a double thumbs up.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I'm really glad Shami stayed there last year, so we knew that was available. And I'm really happy. It'll be nice when Chris comes back to visit again, but I do not want to run to 40 locations with him, so this is good. I did go online because he said things are filling quickly. And I tried to see what was available. And I left him a message because their system online was down. Each time I put something in, it just threw me out again. So I will try him again tomorrow. Today's a holiday. I didn't think they'd be around. And then I'll just see what dates are available in September. He did say it was filling up, so I'll grab something. So we got it there. Don't know what it's going to cost yet, but we'll see as we get down the road. The center is owned by a church. I don't know which one. He didn't say. but it was funny. Gentle Thunder's absolutely right. Once again, you know, we were trying to get answers. We couldn't get reception. We couldn't find this guy Haas. And it's like, oh, to hell with it. We'll just call. And of course, as soon as we did that, he showed up and we took care of business. So I think we have that location. I think that'll be a good location down the road as well. On locations,
And
too, I'll
river
ju-
access.
yeah, and river access. We didn't do that because they were setting up, but it's right there. There is river access. Chris will like that. He can go sit on the toadstools. So, yeah, that takes care of that. The other location I'll just throw out real fast. Gentle Thunder and I went to an event at Sedonia the other night, and Anthony wants us to come and sit, whoever of us, to see about working together again. So I am going to do that. I think it has limited use for what we want to do, and they're a little scattered. A friend was doing an event there, and they changed what was being offered without telling her. So there was a lot of confusion, but as long as we know that going in, it's good to have other backups. Okay, I think that's all on those. Oh, okay, just on Camp Avalon and that
Yeah,
whole,
and then, can you hear me okay?
yeah. When we get a
Shoot, I have
when we
full
get a
Wi-Fi.
chance soon, I'll set a meeting, whoever wants to come, and we'll do a little brainstorming on, or heartstorming on waves of wisdom. All right. Very
Right, and then with the dates, may I just add that we confirming that for early arrival people, having a little like potluck and maybe song circle at your house on that Friday, September 13th, if those dates are available, or at whatever Friday.
We'll go through all that when we start having
Oh, the
heartstorming
meeting.
meetings on it. Yeah,
Okay, you got it.
we can do
For
whatever
sure.
we want. We have my place now. We have the place for ceremony down the road. So we got options. Yeah,
Okay.
and that would be my desire to have extended. Okay. Community share circles. Okay, I guess we better do a little of that quickly as well. Shami put up the times and all we had committed to. Why does this keep closing on me? Duck on it. There we go. Of course, we don't have Robert now. Hey, guys, huh? How about it? My dogs want to be in the meeting. So we have the times we're going to be able to do. Aliane, I don't know if you want to do a time or not, and we have to ask Kat. There's open dates. I know it's harder for you because of the time differentials. But let's look at that. I'm happy to work with anybody to fill Robert's spots until we get somebody to take those particular Wednesdays. If you have time this Wednesday, Gentle Thunder has a guest who I think is really going to be interesting. I got to chat with her a little bit, and it's good. It kind of opens that whole, let's bring in guests as well. But anything else, Gentle Thunder, anything on that guest or?
The only thing is, her and I chatted for a good 45 minutes and I got a very good feeling, just about her as a person and the work she's doing to help others. And she was telling me her story, how she got started in her journey, her path, and how she's been calling in teachers, mentors, her tribe. And as she's talking about herself in that way, I said, say that. Don't talk about what you do. Talk about your journey. Talk about your path and how you got here. And so it's interesting because in that 45 minutes, initially in my mind, I had an idea of how it was going to be. It was going to be more like how I thought it was going to be. Like she was going to talk about what she does, and I was going to ask her some questions and then open it up to everyone listening. But as she's sharing her story, I said, wait, scratch that idea. Let's go with that. And then as she continued to share further, I started getting chills and I said, that is perfect. So if you can just share that, that sounds wonderful. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what she has to share in her own story. You know, we all have our stories. We all have our stories, how we got to where we are now, you know, why we're doing what we're doing now. And her story is sweet and it's similar to mine, to be honest with you. And I understand and know that I kind of went, what? When she started talking about intimacy and sexuality and stuff, but there's so much more to her than that. So her and I are going to do a recap on Tuesday or Wednesday morning, and just to drop in again and see how she feels about just telling her story. You know, how her journey has been and how she got where she's at now, and how she feels about assisting those on their healing journey. And, you know, we are all in this about healing and heart space and coming together. And I mentioned that too. I gave her a little bit of my story, and she actually started crying a little bit because she felt it and she could resonate. And so it's like, oh, some similarities in some ways. And I told her what we're doing, you know, we're bringing our medicines together to create this new sacred hoop of life. And there is no lone wolf that doesn't work. And she totally agrees. Everything that I shared, she's like, yes, 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 yes. So that's why I know, and how I know the alignment is there.
Good. Yeah, no, and that's exactly what we want, because as we dig into this in a few minutes, I don't think this is going to be going out there to try to find the board members we want. I think it's going to be the same process. It's what Gentle Thunder just is doing with her. Open the doors and windows, put out our intentions, know what we hope will show up, and allow them to appear to us. But we'll get there in a minute. Right now, I don't want to disrespect the Kiwi, so I see your hand, brother.
Oops, just disappeared. I was
Sorry, you
just
can't
going to
talk.
speak.
Go ahead. Kidding.
Thank you. I was just going to say, for those days that with a whatever day it is, there Wednesday sharing circle, if you need to be, I can usually pick those up at short notice. So if there's ever any debate, you can just drop me in. Make sure you let me know before the day. If not, it'll be fun anyway.
Would you like to take
Yeah.
the June 5th then, Christopher?
Go for it.
Is anyone else wanting to oppose that?
I don't
Gentle
want to
Thunder.
oppose it, but I do want to say that Jim asked, how do you say your name, Eliane?
Oh, Alienne.
Yeah, he asked her, but no one gave her an opportunity to answer. Can we have her
Her
answer?
hand,
She's
her hand's
willing to
up
step
next.
in.
Yeah,
Please?
absolutely.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you.
Eliane.
So I am still aligning, but it's 5:30 a.m. here. I will be happy to join Christopher on the date, and I'll check the other dates also.
Perfect.
Yeah, I feel on a different note, I feel now ready to come back again and join in with everybody. So I'll be happy to pitch into many things, slowly and gently, but I will.
That's awesome.
Amazing. We're so
Yeah, that's great
grateful.
to hear.
Yeah, very welcome, Aliane.
Very much so. Mhm.
And that's perfect.
Wonderful.
It looks like I may be doing a live thing here, so I may not be there on the 5th. So that's great. I know it'll just keep rolling if we allow it to. Okay. The other thing
Ah.
then, the other thing on the share circles. Here's what we decided. See if everybody likes this. I think it works. We've got to start doing things in a timely fashion. We've all at one time or another, or most of us, not hit target times and dates, and we can't keep doing that, especially now we're such a small number. So we thought Thursday, if the person for an upcoming program, or when they do, to have that information by Thursday, get it to Shami by Thursday, and she will have the flyers et al. By Friday. I can then start putting things out there. I watched it this week for the heck of it with yours, Gentle Thunder. I put out roughly 38 groups on Facebook, plus some other stuff. For the heck of it, I was curious where I was at. I put out 38 and 26 of them were accepted within 30 minutes. Most of them I'm already pre-approved. So that really gives us some good time. So if I can put them out like on the weekend, and then we put them out again on Tuesday or Wednesday, that'll start advertising what we're doing a little better, I think. How's everybody feel about that? Or does anybody not feel good about it, I guess? Shami, you got your hand up. Is it on this thing too? Go.
Yeah. I just wanted to confirm just to make things smoother and be really clear on communication, what the things are that I do need for the flyers. And that is a title or topic. Like we always have we have that community share circle, and then we have a little, like a topic or title of the show that week, and whoever is going to be hosting it. And then a description that we can add in to give a little bit more of an idea about what is going to be expected. Even if it's a loose description, it doesn't have to be very long, but just something so people know what to expect and what the topic is, kind of what the discussion will be about. If there is an image that is that calls you, that is related to your topic or your show that week, then please send that my way. Otherwise, usually through that title and the description, I can find an image that works, or a video. I've been doing little videos, and I think that consistency has been really nice. It looks physically pleasing on our Instagram. Just even if that was the only thing we've done, we have all these different videos and images of our share circles, and so I feel pretty good about that. But again, the main thing is having the title and description. And that's really all we really need. And if we want to start adding, like Gentle Thunder sent a headshot of Uni. And so I included that in our little video image that I posted, which can be nice if we start having more, as we start having more co-hosts. And I did include her bio in the Facebook event, but it wasn't something that we had done beforehand. But I'm happy to do that as we start introducing new people into the circle to
Okay,
co-host
good.
with. So, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. And when Love's here, she'll team up with me on some shows too, so we can fill some gaps as well as needed. So that gives us a lot. Chris, go ahead. I want to move into
I just have one more thing though. And my only thing is that on the agenda, it has what's the host responsibility and what's my responsibility. So that way those things are clearly outlined, so there's not confusion and we can get these things done on time. So if you didn't get the PDF, just let me know and we'll resend it. That's all. Talking stick in the middle.
Good. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you want a title, coming together, stepping out of brain activity.
Ooh. Do.
Yeah, maybe talk to Aliane
Maybe.
about that too and confirm it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good for you and I to get together somewhere, Alan, and yeah, we might come up with something completely different. Doesn't matter.
And now for something completely different. Oh, sorry. Bringing back Monty Python.
Gentle Thunder?
Okay.
Yeah, it seems and it feels like a lot of work to keep changing the image every time someone else is hosting or have a guest on. What I've been educated on when I used to have a manager was keep everything congruent, like symbols, you know, whether they're the logos, there we go, logos, scenery in the back, keep it congruent on all platforms so that people know that that's Sodom, that they know this is the weekly share talking circle. Me personally, I don't see a reason to keep changing it all the time. If we have one image that we can all agree on, I would like us just to go with that as the background. And then you add in, you know, the host name, the guest name, and the links for the Zoom. That's just been my experience. And I just wanted to share that talking stick in the middle.
I'll share the opposite, the opposing side to that. I don't like that. I like on Facebook using different images. What I've been doing is when I put the first go around up, I'm using that one we have that's every week. When I put the second one up, I'll add a picture or something just because it draws the eye. So I guess I'm kind of in the middle, but I can go either way. I think people tend to, in Facebook and those things, to start to not look at them because they get bored with them. But I could be wrong. We can try both. Shami? You're muted.
You're on mute.
Yeah. So when we actually first started the share circle, I thought the same thing, Gentle Thunder, and I had the same graphic for multiple times. And then Jim brought that up, and it actually has been quite nice to have that diversity. So I was in your chair, and I thought the same thing. And I do see the advantage of changing it up. It's really nice, and it makes our page aesthetically look intriguing versus having the same thing. Because as of now, it's kind of the only thing we have consistently going on. So it's kind of it's been kind of nice. So that's my input on that and talking stick in the middle.
So let's continue doing some of each and see what we get, what kind of response. I'm kind of watching these things to see what's happening. Elian? Yeah, Elian.
So I think since I've been observing the posters and the flyers right now in the background, there is a consistent style, colors, the way of putting it together. So in terms of just design and graphics, they still fall under the same category. So like for me, I feel even though they're different, they have the same, how would you say, spirit and mood. And so I think that works as long as we keep that intact. And then you keep changing like the other things around.
I completely defer to our professional artist. To me, that's a great point. And yeah, I'm looking now and they do all fit together. Huh, okay. I think that's enough for that right now. Okay. All right, let's start digging. Are we done with these nitty gritty pieces? I don't want to spend too much time because I do want to make sure we look at the big picture today. Good.
Just real quick is that if I'm able to get everything together on time, I would like to send it to the council to just check for errors to make sure before I send it out. So that might be, I have that in part of the protocol to be able to allow time for like 24 hours of like, okay, can someone click on the link, make sure that everything's right? Because sometimes that has happened. And I just want to make sure that we don't have errors when we put things up. So If you everyone okay with that? Even if it's just one person saying, I
Yeah.
clicked it, all is
Yep.
good. That'd be really helpful. Okay, thanks.
Yep. I try to do that with some of the things I'm doing too. So that's a good point. When it's needed, sometimes, of course, it's not. Got that. We got that. Okay. I did share the response from Don. I haven't heard anything from Robert yet, but I sent that letter last week. So I'm sure we'll hear back from him as well. Oy, oy, oy. Down the road, we'll do some of this. Okay, how about thoughts, ideas on where we are now? There's 5 of us. We can fill our seats short term if we want. We can talk a little bit about board members and how we're going to do that. I still think we open the doors and wait for them to come in, but I'm curious what you all feel. And basically, how do we go forward with the ship? We have really done a lot in a year and a half. And we moved from being all up here, getting through the setup work, to being a lot down in the heart. And so I'm feeling we need some balance. Aliane.
It's been kind of good also because of the work and the way I was that I could observe from the outside and also experience in my own way. And I feel there is the different locations, uh, which is difficult for all of us to always work on physical projects together. And then there is the online thing. So I feel like how is it that we can collaborate when we're doing, like when you are doing Waves of Wisdom, how is it that we can help though we're physically not there? And online, then what are the things other than the share circle? What are the other things which I haven't really thought through? But I see that definitely as something if we could figure, because on a physical level, we organized the Nature in Art event, and it was a very beautiful event, and I did want to share a bit about it. Quickly, I will, so that we can get to the other things for the meeting. But as usual, it's very spirit led, and we're a group of people who are guided and who trust, and we just went with it, organized a bit more than last time. So we had some funding in place and donations, and so that worked out. We have a physical location that helps, and friends came in. We didn't pay people to come speak, talk, um, have performances. They came because it was a heart-centered and it's for Mother Earth and it's for the children. And we reached out to more schools. We had over 200 children every day for 3 days. And we had 30 facilitators and speakers and more artists and people traveling from Japan, from Germany, from Poland, from Nepal. They came, they just came and things worked out. And as a team, which is we're just like 4 people or 5 people, we did everything from sweeping to organizing rooms and things like that for people. And but what was beautiful is that it always flows as it does because everyone's friends, and the spaces like are not always, they don't always work out. Like you need a space for grounding and healing, and suddenly the space you were allotted was filled with children and there was noise, so people just picked up and they said, okay, we're going to change location, found a room, went in. So it was like an overlapping program, and that's how it is. And we didn't try to fight it, and it was very beautiful. But I think the impact slowly every year, like last year was beautiful, but I feel this year was more um how would you say, wholesome, more intense also energetically for us to hold. And there were changes because last year the container created for it um, was strong, and there were lesser jarring energies or contrasting energies that came in. So we didn't have to do so much for the container. But this year it kept dipping up and down, and we had to keep maintaining the container but that was a lesson for us also, saying that there would be different kinds of people coming, and you have to keep your eyes open. And one thing we learned inviting different people was that the ones who were doing more energy work, like needed better scanning, some of them, like sound healing sessions. There were the Japanese woman and her partner, and the Tai Chi and Qigong, they do the same, was beautiful. But in the sound healing, it's kind of like, for us, it's protocol. If you take people somewhere and raise them high, then you bring them back and then leave them gently. And what they did is took them high and kind of left them there. So we had to kind of bring people. So this kind of scanning that we need to do needs to be, especially as people organizing, and energetically also holding the space. So these are just a few things, but art, music, performance, talks about, we had people talk about rights of nature, proper professional friend, the person. And so we did varied things. So I feel like on a physical level, like I could do this, but I don't know how I could have asked you to collaborate with this. And similarly on the online thing, I'd also like to think about it and understand how we could figure it better. So yeah, talking station.
Thank you. Great synopsis. And I'm having that same question. How can we better participate in our various things? Because I would have loved to been there to watch what you were doing. And likewise with when we do the Wings of Wisdom, it's hard to make sure you guys can. So maybe that's another, I have to start making a list of meetings we can have that we talk about each of these subjects, not worrying about what committee or anything. We don't need that right now, but how can we better facilitate that? Because what I saw, well, your art is always amazing. And what I saw, it's like, I wish I could really hear all of this. And there's other events like that going on who are inviting us, but I don't know quite how to do it yet. So yeah, let's put that in our circle as we move forward. I think that's one direction. How do we better support each other and participate at a global level? Shami, are you on that?
Yeah, and that's that really is a great question, because Waves of Wisdom did bring that up a lot. And I think a lot of people that weren't there felt like kind of left out, and we want to be able to support each other in that. So I think one way is, if you have team meetings about whatever event we're doing, then if calling in the council and being like, please, we could use extra hands on this, whether it's back end stuff, because I'm sure there's a lot of things that could be done online and from afar. And then, so that's one aspect, is just inviting. We need to include everyone in the planning so we can say, okay, well, I could take this or I could take that. And then the other aspect, while it's live and on the ground, is I think that we need to find volunteers for every event to just do media, to just have like the live stream going. Because no matter where we are around the world, if we live stream something, then it will be up forever. And so those who weren't able to attend can always go back. And that's the beauty of our share circles, is that they are online. And even with Indigifest, that's been really nice, is like that was live and we were able to have that up on our website completely. So that way the next year when these events happen, the hype is there because we have all of the footage. So that's what came to my mind when you asked that question, because I would have loved to have been more involved with your event, because it just, what you weave together and your teams and the people you bring together is quite intriguing and beautiful. So
Good.
yeah, talking stick in the middle.
And I think we are making some headway in that. In Digifest, the first one, you couldn't even hardly hear what was recorded. The second one was much better, not perfect, but we were getting better. With Alien's this time, I wanted to raise some money for it. but we ran into problems because it's international. And by the time she came up with a way, then I had the group say, oh, wait a minute, we can't do this fast. We have to understand what this is. So I only managed to get it to a few of our own groups. So I think each of these things we'll learn a little bit more each time. So it won't be huge leaping steps, but if we learn something each time, I feel like we've done a pretty good job. Okay, anybody else on that bit of okay.
Yeah, and
Move
we can definitely put things on the website too. If you have things that you want to send over, I'll do the best that I can to update that with the events and whatnot. And if you have space for it, if you write a blog about the event, then I'm more than happy to add that into the website.
Yeah, and I think, okay, so we're getting into an interesting area of what exactly do we need? I think we need we need somebody like Robert who knows how to do all the streaming and all that good stuff, or another place to do it, like Unity Earth. They will do our stuff for us if we get to them in enough advance warning, because they like what we're doing. We need that. I think we need some more program people, because that's what we're visible in right now. We definitely need a couple people, or at least one who is more grounded in the brain stuff, because we're always going to need some of that. We can't just like, okay, that's done, we move on. That won't work. What else do we need? Somebody to help with fundraising. So as we are not wishing, as we're asking for things, let's be clear what we're asking for. I've been doing some prayers for various things lately, some for myself, some for the group. And I realize sometimes that I'm not real clear in my prayers. So you got to watch what you ask for, because we may just get it now. And it may be a good thing and it may not be, but we just have to pay attention to what we're doing. All right. Okay. So moving ahead. This is good. We're making good time. We'll have a chance to just do a little bit of open talk. At the moment, let's see where we are with this too. So at the moment, I am, what am I? Director and treasurer. And there is no co-director at the moment. Shami is secretary. That's where we stand. Does anybody want to nominate? Or you can, what do you call, volunteer yourself too, for that matter. Pups.
So what's the order again?
Well, we needed, what were we calling it? Well, the normal thing is president, vice president, but we don't do that. Council chair, council co-chair, treasurer, and secretary. Those are the four, which we want to try to have filled because it keeps us on the QT with the nonprofit people. I don't really want to get audited, especially when we're not bringing in money. That's like a double embarrassment.
So you're standing for chair?
I'll stay here for a while. I was tired of being chair, but until we get things rolling, sure, I can do,
I'll propose that you be nominated for the chair, or I nominate you for the chair position then.
well, not necessarily. Okay. What about other positions?
Okay, you quoted them off. I liked what you said. I'll nominate the whole lot.
You'll do what?
You gave a list of positions and people.
Oh,
I'll put that forward as a proposal.
okay. So Shami is secretary. I stay
Yeah, and
treasurer.
I'm fine. I'm fine being secretary still. I kind of get it and can do it.
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
perfect at it, but
Well, no, the only one here who's perfect is Chris, but we're not going to go there. I'll stay with treasurer for now too, unless somebody wants it. You're welcome to it. But there's really nothing coming in yet. When it starts coming in, we need to have a real treasurer who's going to watch the money. And okay, so then I will nominate Gentle Thunder for the co-chair.
I'll second that.
Okay,
yeah, if
so
she's up for it, how do you feel about that?
Gentle Thunder. She's smiling. She's not looking daggers at me, so I guess it's
Okay, so we need to take a vote on both of these. I put the proposal forward for Jim and Charmaine to fulfill their allocated positions. We need a seconder,
hold
and
it.
then we
Wait,
need to take a vote on it.
Chris, hold 1 minute. Gentle Thunder, I think, was trying to talk and didn't realize she was muted.
No,
Nice. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, you know, we are a small tribe right now, so we all need to step in and step up. And I'm willing to do that until we've got more members, more people come in. And then at that time, we need to shift around again, so be it. But I'm up for the task. Thank you.
Great. And those who know us know that Gentle Thunder and I work really well together anyway. So that's important. As I do with Shami, as I do sometimes with Chris. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, no, I think that's a really good. We do have others. Love is willing to help us here on the ground, so she'll help like with events and things. And I think that Eve Crow wants to do a little bit of help with that sort of thing too. So we've got some others who can help right here on the ground. I don't know if we'll work with Jose again, but we'll leave that in the ethers. One of us will not work with Jose again. I'm open to change, but at the moment, no. No, he did not. We ended up doing the whole last one, and that's not a partner. Aliane, thank you for saving me. I don't know what else to say. Go.
So I wanna kind of step in to help Shami with online stuff. I wanna recap like the blog password and all of that with you, Shami, so that I can help you with Instagram, because I update mine all the time and I just happily update ours too. So with the blog, I'll also start writing on the blog. So, but I need passwords and stuff. Okay, I have to hunt for it.
Beautiful. I got you on that. We got a whole spreadsheet. I got all the passwords. Would absolutely love help with that. It's quite overwhelming to do it all.
No, so I'll help you with it. I'm also happy to do blog posts and illustrations, and I just kind of like put in there and also share with everybody. And I'll kind of bug people. I'm like, okay, please write a little bit and send it to me. So then I'll do that.
Beautiful. And I've been wanting to write blog posts, but it just hasn't come yet. So it'd be really nice to have inspiration and someone to kind of co-create with and keep accountable with as well. I'd really love that. I have so many notes. So
Yeah, no,
thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we still didn't vote. We will in a minute, but hold each other accountable. I think that's really well said. There's not many of us. Let's be careful what we commit to, that we can actually do what we're committing to. And if we see one of us sliding or can't handle it, ask them, do you need help? Otherwise, you're missing a date. Or any of us should be able to go to any of the others and say, hey, I'm stuck here. I need help. And, we got a lot of good skills in this group, a lot of good skills, even though we're small. So thank you for that, Lillian. That's beautiful. That'll be a huge help. I also do have, and I will get them. I had given to Don, and I'm not sure what happened, a bunch of documents that I did for Sodom some time ago, including all the descriptions of the various committees, all the descriptions of positions. And they're good to start from instead of starting from scratch. Let's just look at them as we move ahead. I'm not saying we do it right now, but I'll make sure that gets to one of you who actually knows how to use Google Docs, which I still hate. But that's neither here nor there. Shami, sorry, didn't even see your hand.
I just really wanted to, sorry, the dogs. I just love the way that you said that. If someone's not making a deadline or someone's not fulfilling something. Sorry. Hold on one second. Sorry, we have someone coming in. But yeah, the way that you said that. Do you need help with anything? I think that that is such a good way to communicate of like, hey, instead of like, hey, you're not making this deadline. It's like, hey, from the heart, is everything okay? Can I help with anything? Like that is the most comforting words to receive from a council, and it doesn't feel belittling. It doesn't feel fingers pointed. It really like it's such a good way to communicate. So I just wanted to emphasize and show appreciation about the way that that was worded.
And then if they still don't hit the deadline, then we kill them. But that's different.
I mean, we're Sicilian. We got
Yeah, right. Christopher.
Just mentioning here, I'm not volunteering for any positions, but if somebody just needs somebody to bounce ideas around with or thoughts or something like that, that's where I feel I can lend a hand. To be that bouncing board, the reflection, the mirror, the whatever, drop ideas in. Even if you get stuck with a blog post, you're welcome to touch base and we can just bounce things around. So talking stick in the middle.
That's really good. And Chris is working with 2 or 3 other organizations now too, including an indigenous one in Canada, which is going to bring in some more partners. And that's something we all should be looking at. If you're working with any group that's anything like us at all, keep it in your heart and your head that, oh, that might make a good partner as an organization. Because I'm really hoping we can start going out after some funding now. No, I take that back. We're going to open the doors and windows and allow the funding to come in now. Let's finish this vote so it doesn't get lost. Chris, I think you did the, come on. Duh. You said it was the first. So who, does anyone want to second that?
For whom? What are you proposing right now?
Okay, if I step in here, because theoretically the chair is not allowed to ask for this because you're getting voted in.
That's right.
So I'm nominating Jim for chair. I'm nominating you, Shami, for secretary. Those are the 2 positions. And you're looking at taking on treasurer too, aren't you, Jim?
I can, and then, so you might as well nominate General Thunder as well for the co-chair, or however we're going to put it.
I thought we'd already done that. We just hadn't taken a vote on it.
Well, that's where we got
Okay.
hung up.
Yeah, and putting in that proposal that you, Gentle Thunder, I'm proposing that you become co-chair. So what we
I
need
second.
now is a seconder.
I second all the
Good.
proposed positions
Good.
and
Yep.
nominations.
Ayes?
And yeah, remember you're not supposed to do this, Jim. So ayes,
Now I can
raise
vote.
a hand.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye. With this small group, if we had to do that, then nobody could vote. We're
Yeah.
voting for the group, not for individuals, so we can do it. Okay, anyway, it's unanimous. Good. Let me see what else.
So now I think that whether it's
Hold
after
on.
this meeting or not,
Yeah.
oh,
Hold on. Cool your jets a minute. Okay. Okay, I think we hit well, I shouldn't say that. Other things on this major brainstorming, heartstorming part, major things we have to repair. Which holes are in the bottom of the ship that we have to caulk up? Shami?
it's just about everything voting for these positions. I think that we need to have like a basic outline of what those roles entail. Is that not true or not? I mean, that's a very important part before we move on.
Like I said, I will, because I don't know what Don did with them. I gave him the write-ups of all the roles and all the committees. So I will resurface them and put them out there again. And we can look at them, and if we need to change them a bit, that's fine too.
So then won't you and Gentle Thunder will work on that to put out to the rest of the board. Is that correct or incorrect?
I'll work on that. They're here on my computer. I just have to pull them up again. And I'll put them out there for everybody to look at. And then we just take it at the next meeting. They're pretty general, so I don't think there's going to be much change, but there might be a little because we are running a little differently now. Okay. So I'll put it out there again as a question. What do we see? Anything else that are holes in the bottom of the ship that we have to fix first? That we have to make sure we're seaworthy before we kick off once again? Shami?
I think a big hole, number one for me, is communication and how that's done. And yeah, I think just that spaciousness is needed in our evolution. I think that the way we've been communicating has been pretty flowy, and I feel like our stream of emails and texts get very lost and convoluted and diluted. And it's a big waste of time to have to search through different emails for different things. So I really think that that has been a big hole this whole time that we've been running the organization. I think it's caused a lot of misunderstandings and yeah, and I think that that's a part that needs a little more structure and flow. And I have
Okay. Yeah.
different proposals for that I can go on after.
Okay. I think that's a valid point. I get very frustrated when we shift all the time. Some of these things will start as a message, and then suddenly it'll be an email, and then it'll go in the Google Doc, which I can't get into no matter how many times I try. So we need something that's going to work. I'm not any good in Google Docs. I know Chris is. I don't know if any of the rest of you. But I'd like to find a way to communicate, and then we don't have to change it every damn time we do something. I know a lot of groups are doing that now. I know the young people love to do that now, but can we please minimize how many times we change from one thing to another? Because I think that'll help us. What do you got? What does everybody else think? Nobody does. Chris now loves Google Docs, I guess. Go ahead, Chris, you, and then we'll go back to Shami.
Okay, I'm just aware, which you've already said, anytime we change stuff, most of it I just don't get anyway. But once in a while, there's a part of it I can get if it stays the same, so I can develop a habit with it. But if I don't use it often, it's like the blog post. For a while I was putting some up, but now I've got out of the flow for a little bit, and I haven't got a clue how to get back in. I've searched around and can't figure it out.
Okay. And I guess I'm in a different place. I can learn them. It's trying to find time to constantly learn ones because I'm with too many groups and it's like I can't keep, otherwise I spend all my time trying to learn various programs that then the next time they pull it up, they go, well, that didn't work. Let's try this. So go ahead, Shami.
So my question is, if you are in other organizations, and this goes to everyone, other groups, teams, work, what are you using for your communication and your documents already?
There were no Vikings in the house. I was expecting to see them eating at Farmhouse.
So for
Right.
the,
On the record,
go ahead.
there were like 35 state troopers that were everywhere, telling them like no gang can show up. They limited
Mr.
parking for
Kiwi.
people. Yeah.
So far with
So
the
it's like,
main contacts in Canada, we're just doing Zoom sessions once a week.
It's okay.
With the Unicorn Den people, we're using WhatsApp as the main contact area. And we've got a whole lot of chat rooms and different tasks in there.
And is in WhatsApp, do you have different groups for different
Wait a
things,
minute,
or
wait
you
a
just
minute,
have
wait a minute, wait a
one?
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
I think that's okay to ask.
No, it's not. You got to wait for the stick.
But it was a general thing. Is the
Got to wait for the
WhatsApp in
stick.
different groups?
Leanne has her hand up, so let's go to her and then move it around. Leanne?
So I work with different organizations and collaborate. So for each time, or if there are permanent, or there's the WhatsApp, there's Zoom calls, there is mails that are put in if it's like to be recorded and made official. And then there is the Google Drive. So we do share on all of these platforms. But WhatsApp is the one that's easiest because different groups, different things, and then communication, and it's in a space. And then when we need to make it official, then a mail is hidden so that it's recorded. Documents, everything shared through Google Drive.
Shami?
So when you have the WhatsApp groups, do you have, because it seems like it's one big text thread, right? Which I like over just email. And then what if you have, like, say you're planning an event? Do you have a separate chat about that? Okay, so that was my question for Christopher too, was like, are these WhatsApp groups one official one with everyone, and then you split up into different groups, and that's how you keep that organized? Okay.
Yeah, and I guess because I'm a dinosaur, and I was sharing this with Shami the other day. I just like good old, I mean, I love Zoom. Great. And we record it, and then I can go rewatch. But I like emails, and I just spend a few minutes and I zap them into my various folders. But I know that doesn't work for most people. WhatsApp I stopped using. For some reason, my groups were not. There was, what's it called? Oh, God. For the groups with the young people, those are the ones that are changing rapidly. It seems like they try one of the venues and then drop it. So WhatsApp has started to be good for those again. And Google Docs is not getting a favorable look by many right now. It's a little too convoluted. Everybody's in there working. I don't get it. I mean, it's like, okay, so who did what where? I don't care what color you are. I don't want to remember who's purple, who's orange, who's green. So, and I know, I see your hand, Chris. I'll get you next. But I know Shami had some other program which sounded kind of interesting. I didn't get a chance to look at it. Chris, go ahead, and then over to Shami.
With the WhatsApp, just speaking to that, I've got people's individual contacts, so we can chat one-on-one. We have some organizational chat groups where several of us meet for a particular subject. Then we got open chat rooms as well, and they're all just in one big list in the order that I last used them. So, you know, if somebody sends me a personal message, their name and title comes to the top of the list. So, yeah, you can got groups for all sorts of things, specific tasks and various things. I find it a good thing to have them all in one format. We can do text messaging, or we can do online audio chats or video chats as well. I'm not aware of being able to record on them though, which is, if we want recording, Zoom is our default. So it's the Unicorn Den people I'm interacting with on WhatsApp, but we use Zoom as well as the backup, especially if we want to record. And for me, they both work and I understand them. And I figure if I can understand them, they've got to be a breeze.
Yeah, that could be an indicator for us. Okay. So it seems like more than one of us don't like Google Docs. That's good. General Thunder was shaking her head no as well. So, okay, Shami.
I'm not really like so concerned about
Shami.
Can I chime in?
Yeah.
Do you, for those who don't like Google Docs, do you have an alternative?
Gmail.
You can't save files through email.
Yeah. Because they salvage them when they get stolen.
You can't keep photos stored through email, videos, different things. There has to be something that's a shared aspect to be able to share these documents. Like right now, I can pull up our vision that was sent in a lot of corporate documents that we've shared through Google Drive. So if you don't like that system, then you gotta bring an alternative to the table that works, is my opinion.
I like Gmail and I send pictures and things all the time. I have to save my own. I don't go to a common reservoir, which I like anyway. But okay, Chris, you gotta.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a contrary statement. I still can't figure out how to get into Google Docs. I have no clue what they do. Therefore, I can offer no alternative. I'm just still bamboozled. And as I say, I still don't know how to get into Google Docs. And two people from the original committee have supposedly led me through it. I get up the next morning and I have got no clue. So that's part of the issue I strike with it. Somehow I just haven't got my head around it.
Shami.
Were those things recorded so you could go back and check, Christopher, when you are confused again? Because it sounds like it's something that has to be done repetitively, right? I mean, when we're learning something new. So I'm happy to do that again. And we did started writing out how to get into the Google Drive. So
Let's hop in here because this wasn't meant to be a whole thing on what. Anybody interested, look for options between now and the next meeting? Because yeah, no, I don't like Google Docs either. I don't find it friendly. There's so many things. Yeah. And so at least three of us don't like it. Eliane, what do you use?
I'm comfortable using it because it gives me access easily to all shared files.
Okay, so you can. So at the moment, we're 3 nays and 2 yays.
the only alternative is Dropbox, just so you know.
Yeah, Dropbox.
And that costs money.
No, the only alternative that you're aware of at the moment is Dropbox. There must be other things because there's a lot of groups that don't use
No.
Google Docs.
Do you have a seasoning?
I don't know what they are, but maybe we can find out. Chris, is your hand still up or is it up anew or? His hand's up, but his butt's not in the chair. Okay. Any other pieces? Yes, communications is one piece. Is there any other pieces we need to consider moving ahead that has holes in it, other than funding and resources? We already know that. Eliane?
Just to for the thing we were talking about, since Shami and I are comfortable with Google Drive and we have that option right now, in case you need to put in a document into Google Drive or get access, then I mean anyone needs to, they can reach out and I'll do that. Like depending on our time, you know. Because for now, till you get comfortable and till more tutorials are done and you're comfortable, I'm happy to put them into the drive and pull them out or show them to you where you need it. So you can just ask, okay, I can't find this, I'm looking for this, I'll help you find it. And if I have this document I need put, then I'll put it. So through mail, you can just do that. For now, I'm happy to help.
Okay, great. And then I still hope we find a different venue because I still don't like it. It's lack of security to me. Everybody working on the same things, just not, I don't know. Shami?
With that being said, Alian, there was something with communication that I feel like allows that spaciousness, especially with the time difference. Allowing someone 24 hours to respond. If they can respond right away, great. But I think that it's very important to allow that space and not expect someone to respond instantly, because that's not fair on or respecting each other's time and normal and like daily lives. So I just want to make sure that's clear and what you feel about that and how we all feel about that as far as emailing and expectations go.
Yeah, I think we already said that, or you already said that. So yes. And there has to be, yeah, you said it earlier. There has to be some time. You're not going to just immediately grab somebody. Half the time when I send something to Eliane, I know it's 3 o'clock in the morning for her. Or for Chris, it might be 2 in the morning, but he's still up. I don't know what he's doing, but so yeah, can't expect immediate turnaround. But 24 hours is more than fair. I mean, that's still pretty damn fast. Okay, I think the other piece of where we are now, and I know we've talked about it in the past, I can't remember who was around the table when we did, but working in circle like this, especially right now as we get this thing moving forward again, doesn't mean that every little piece of business has to go through everybody, nor does it mean that we're running it all now jointly at the same time. To get this rolling in circle the way it works, whoever has the best skills for the task in front of us, that's the person who steps up and says, okay, I can do that. And they run things until we get beyond that. And then the next piece comes and it may be totally different skills. Maybe it'll be art or photography. So then somebody else steps up. And I think that's going to be really important because it is a short number of us. So there's going to be a lot of holes to fill until we get moving ahead again. I think that made sense. I got a little tongue-tied, but not bad. Okay. We actually have gotten quite a bit done, more than I thought we would. The next board meeting, what would people like to see? Or should we wait a bit and see what emerges? It's okay too.
Better way to like.
I-
That's what,
Good.
yeah, do like a 10 minute,
Yeah.
whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost feel like the next board meeting should just be on like I would love time to just like work on website and blog posts and social media stuff, you know, and like maybe like the next board meeting should be split up into different categories, like maybe the Waves of Wisdom meeting. A few people do that. Maybe a few of us do the website blog. Maybe a few of us work on fundraising. Maybe a few work on outreach. You know, like I almost feel like in this time that we can get together could be spent effectively if we split into smaller groups and focused on something specific.
I think you forgot to count how many of us are sitting here.
Movement,
So
yoga, and then
that'll work when we have more people.
But I
I
mean,
think we need to,
you know Sandra.
we'll follow up with more of this for sure. Chris is doing funny little motions. I don't know what that was. Yeah,
Babylonian celebration, right?
go ahead, Chris. You got something on that?
Yeah, I actually think what Shami's saying is a good idea. We're a small number, but if you notice, we've already done this because you, Shami, and Alian have offered to work together on, the Google Docs. You're a specialist people, so I'm quite glad for you two to heartstorm together and come up with anything with Google Docs. I can't join that group because I'm useless on Google Drive or Google Docs. So we are doing it in our own little way. And I see that happening already. Jim and I still chat. We help each other out. So this is happening on a very small scale. I think the idea is definitely worth merit. So
I think
yeah,
that's,
just my
I'm sorry.
No, go for it, Jim.
I think that's
Talking
lovely.
stick in the middle.
That's lovely in between board meetings, but that's not a board meeting when you have 5 people. That means you can only have 2 little subgroups. So it's just not logical. It can, go ahead, Ian.
I feel whoever wants to call a meeting can put it out.
Yep.
And then we'll join in wherever we're
Mhm.
called. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, and I think that's the way it works effectively. Yep. The board meeting, we got to continue to get things done. Everybody keep bringing whatever programs or events you're doing. So we keep each other informed, because I'm looking at Gentle Thunder, and we were in this thing the other day and we realized, and I did with Love when we were talking, it's time for another global drum circle soon. And she's found a great place with this enormous drum that we can do it. So make sure we're constantly bringing those things, so we know what each other's doing, and then we can find ways to be there. If not physically, at least virtually. Okay, what else do we need to bring? Programs, events. I guess if we do some heartstorming in the next one, feel into that. What do we need? What kind of board members? I could make a list, but that's coming out of my head, and that's not where we want it from, especially my head. But see what comes. I mean, it could even be something silly. Well, we want to clown with the local circus to keep us smiling. I don't know, whatever. Nothing's traditional anymore. Nothing is what it used to be. Everything's upside down. So let's take advantage of it. We at least are aware of it. Jamie?
then I'd like to discuss next meeting. I think it would be really important for us to dive into Waves of Wisdom and what our vision and mission is for that this coming year, because I think it's important to start marketing for that very soon. So I'd like to have Heartstorming on Waves of Wisdom and what kind of speakers and artists and guests that we may want to come into that space and how we want that to be.
Yeah, that's a good thing to put some space for. That's exactly right. That's one of our big events. So, okay, that's good. Something else just came to me, but I lost it before I could grab it. Doesn't matter. As my grandmother would say, well, it couldn't have been very important. Gentle Thunder.
I still can't find that yellow hand. Where is that sucker
down.
hiding?
Reactions on the bottom.
Okay, so I can't see that. Brian there's a small computer in front of me and then there's a big computer
Oh.
behind and I can't see that. It's not accessible. But we're talking about Waves of Wisdom and yeah, we need to get on the ball on that. But I've also been asking for postcard sized cards because I'm going to 2 festivals next month and no one has asked me anything or brought it back up, and I've mentioned it twice and I'm going to mention it just this last time and then I'm just going to let it go. I just asked for postcards so I can do my part to help to bring awareness to what we're doing through SODM. And you know, I just want to help in that way. I'm going to be being exposed. I'm going to be at a meditation festival. It's going to have thousands of people. What an opportunity to share what we're doing and to have a workshop there. And in Mount Shasta, I'm going to be on stage and speaking and have a table. What a beautiful opportunity to share what we're doing. I'm giving these platforms to speak about anything I want. And crickets. So talking stick.
That's a good one. Postcard type things, business cards. I've got love creating some business cards for us because we got things we're going to be at too. And actually, we may be in some of the same places. It looks like we're all near Crestone in the end of August, which will not be a coincidence. So yeah, whoever has time and ability to do that would be awesome. Shami.
Right, and following up on that, I was in talking with the final thing that was heading forward with that was Robert and I had to redo the logo so that way the pixels were actually readable. And he was going to get the program that we needed to, but he's not here anymore. So with that being said, Aliyen, do you have Photoshop? Or fantastic. Then let's get that logo like redone so we can get these posters, because that was the holdup, Gentle Thunder. It was, and I'm sorry that we didn't communicate that, but he quit. So yes, Elian.
Shami, it'll just help me if you could mail me or just show me where again the logo is, because I've kind of been not in track, so then I'll follow through.
And I've got
Absolutely.
it in a lot
I'll
of
send it to
forms.
you in an email.
I have it in a lot of different formats, so I'll send that too. I don't know if they're any good or not. That's good. So we're looking for just general cards, right? That says what we are. And that's sort of, yeah, okay, that's what I'm thinking too.
And like maybe if they want to be involved in the organization, like something that if it has our mission, maybe that vision statement, the heart-centered, spirit-driven, that statement, the logo, and our website, and something like collaborate with us or Heartstorm with us or something like that. Anything else you can think of that may want to be on that?
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Hey. I'm sorry. There's poor Eliane up in the middle of the night, and I'm the one yawning. I feel guilty. Anything else? I want somebody to volunteer to do an outgoing prayer. Does anybody feel like doing that? Right, yeah.
We come here with gratitude and ask for blessing, for protection, and guidance on our way. You have reshuffled us. Please help us understand how we may move forward. May we bring in our hearts, and may we come as we are with love, openness, and gratitude, and follow the flow. Please help us listen. Please help us follow. And please help us hear with our hearts and our intuitions and be connected with love. We thank you for bringing us together, and we, at this moment, ask you for your guidance. Bless us and our personal journeys, and bless everyone. We thank you once again.
Aho, thank you. That was
I
beautiful.
forgot to say your name.
Mahamatakayaasan.
I'm not gonna say it
Thank you.
again. Steve, how are you?
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thanks, everyone. Thanks for everybody stepping up and being willing to do what it's going to take to do this. It feels good. Aliane, go ahead.
Quick note to Christopher. Christopher, we'll get in touch through Facebook call thing, and then maybe we can get back to Shami soon.
Put a note in there.
Perfect. If I
I'm
could get
open to
that
this.
by Friday, that would be great. I think this coming Friday. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Here we go.
Love you all
Okay.
deeply.
Don't go crazy, right?
Ciao for now.
That's right.
See you all, and thank you so much.
Gray Wolf, make sure you stop the recording before